Yo guys, what's up? This is Crypto Frank here to give you these crypto updates. Today we're going to be talking about Cardano versus Polkadot. But before we get on to this and talk about why I think Cardano will continue to beat Polkadot over the coming months, check this out. Crypto Frank. Looks pretty cool, right? My girlfriend got me this as an early Christmas present. And it feels good. It feels like this channel is for real now. I only have 5 videos, but somehow I have already 91 subscribers. So thank you to every single one of you guys who subscribed. I wasn't expecting to get this many people interested. And of course, I got 1.1 thousand views in my recent video. You know, guys, I like to get the views, obviously, but I really want to provide valuable information as well. So that really is my goal. And to be honest, I don't actually look at this page, and my bookmark here actually leads me to my comments, so that if you guys leave a comment, that will be the first thing I see. Every day I want to see the comments. I want to interact with you guys. But all right, listen, look at this. Cardano crushing Polkadot. Now, what I said in this video was that Cardano is likely to beat Polkadot in the coming months and just generally in the short term. And this was on December 11th. Now, look what happened on December 11th. Well, let's have a look at the actual chart. December 11th, Cardano opened the day at basically $0.1385. And since then, we have had a 15% move up. Now, Polkadot, on the other hand, opened the day at $4.6, and well, actually it did see only an 11% move up, but not only is it not as powerful as ADA, sorry, I've realized recently that I'm mispronouncing ADA. It's actually ADA. It's named after Ada Lovelace, who was a mathematician and apparently the first computer programmer back in, I think she died in 1897 or something, but anyway, ADA. But look at this, not only have we not outperformed ADA over the past few days, but we've actually corrected. So Polkadot is definitely underperforming ADA, and I will show you now in this video of why I think this will continue. Oh, and guys, stick around till the end of the video where I'll show you a price prediction for Cardano. I know the fans always love to see a price prediction. Some people hate it, but most people, they want it. I mean, they always click on price predictions. I don't think that, it's super relevant, but it is interesting to have some idea of, where the price might reach based on technical analysis. And yeah, I'm going to show you guys what that is. So stick around till the end of the video for that. We're going to look at some technical analysis. I'm going to explain to you guys just in really simple, basic terms why, the things that you have to look at in charts. It's really important not just to think about fundamentals and everything that you believe. It's really easy to get emotional and to get over attached to a cryptocurrency if you only look at fundamentals. I made this mistake myself. That's why I didn't sell any Bitcoin when it went up to $20,000, because I was like, oh, fundamentals, Bitcoin's going to change the world, blah, blah, blah. And, I see a lot of people in the space, especially when they're new to the space, they look at all the fundamentals, they look at Goguen, all the updates are coming for Cardano. It's really exciting, and it's hard to believe that, something might go in the direction that you think it doesn't go. But the great thing about TA, or technical analysis, price analysis, is that, the charts don't lie. They just tell you what's happening. But in this case, I think the news is good for ADA, and I'm going to show you guys why that is. We're also going to go over some of the recent updates from Cardano, really very, very briefly. It's more just to give you guys a general idea of what's going on and why the price is likely to pump moving forward. Another very important thing we're going to do, guys, I like to keep these videos not just engaging, but also informative and educational. So I'm going to tell you something about the volume, why it's so important that ADA has way more 24-hour trading volume than Polkadot. And Polkadot, actually, I've heard most people pronounce it Polkadot. I'm saying Polkadot. I don't know. Do you guys care, really? Polkadot? Anyway. But yeah, in general, we're also going to touch on the fundamentals for why I think ADA will pump, because obviously it's not just about TA. Guys, if you want to see some of the recent news updates where I basically summarize all the recent and important news from Polkadot and ADA Cardano, then you can check out this video that I made on December 11th. All right, so let's get into the price action. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in August, there was a ton of hype around Polkadot, and we saw a massive pump here. The price, it just exploded. And during that, and there's a lot of hype from China. Apparently, a lot of Chinese are into Polkadot. And during that time, ADA actually decreased in price value. So everything, there was mass hysteria about Polkadot. But then what happened was, we had this long sort of stable period. By the way, guys, the blue line represents ADA. ADA actually also has blue in its logo, so I thought that was representative. And Polkadot actually has a red dot in its logo. So Polkadot is the red line here. But then, yeah, as I say, both of these just basically stabilized for several months. But then look what happened here. Bam! ADA just exploded upwards for a 58% move up. This started on the 20th of November for several days here, all the way until the 24th of November, just 58% move up. I mean, that's insane, right? And if you look at it on the chart here, you can also see this move up. And in fact, the move up was even higher. It was almost 75%, but we corrected. And of course, this chart, which I'm showing you here, shows us the closes of the daily candle, whereas this measurement here, if we go from the 20th of November to the 24th of November, shows you the high of the candle, all right? So that's why it's actually an even bigger move up. But in terms of technical analysis, this is very important because it shows you the nature of this chart. It shows you the nature of this asset. And the nature of this asset is that it's explosive and that it's exploded recently in price, smashing through recent highs. And moreover, Polkadot only had a 26.8% move up. So it did go up, but just not nearly as much. And now the next interesting thing is that Cardano went on to make higher lows. Okay, this is very important in the sense that if you want a trend, if you want to identify a trend, it's important that things are going up, down, and then they're going up even more than it went up before, and then it's going down more than higher than the previous low, all right? So we're seeing higher lows, which is very important for maintaining an uptrend, whereas Polkadot saw lower lows, so really not good. And then of course the final thing which happened actually before I made this video predicting that ADA would outperform Polkadot is exactly what happened here. ADA seriously outperformed it over the past couple days and smashed through the previous high. So again, if you want to start an uptrend, you have to break previous highs and then break previous, stay above previous lows, and that's exactly what's happening. But Polkadot, of course, is suffering here, barely managing to break its previous high, kind of struggling at that level right now. So this suggests to me that this run will continue. Now, another thing which Cardano has in its favor is the trading volume. The 24-hour trading volume is 561 billion compared to Polkadot's 128 billion. Now, why is this important? Well, what does this mean? This means that basically a lot of people are interested in buying and or selling Cardano. So it's kind of like a lot of people are fighting. It's like a big army of people buying and selling. And the great thing is that, if the price goes up, it basically means that the buying army has crushed the selling army, despite the fact that there's a lot of sellers here, all right? So basically it means there's a big, important war going on. Whereas with Polkadot, because the trading volume is basically 3.5 times, 4 times less, it means that the war is much smaller, first of all. So what does that mean? That means that the outcome of the war is just less relevant, right? It's like if you hear about a battle where 10 people fought 10 people and someone won, it's like, okay, well, who really cares? But if you hear about a battle where 100 people fought 100 people from the other side and then something happened, that's just a more important event, right? So it means that there's more people interested in trading, and it also means that whatever price we actually have is more likely, whatever trend we have, with all this increasing big volume, is more likely to sustain itself. And if you're wondering, okay, well, that's just the last 24 hours, how relevant is that? Well, actually have a look at the last, several days. If you go to historical data here on CoinGecko.com for Cardano, you can see that the volume, 24-hour volume, has been, incredible. $500 million. It's such an insane amount of money. Reaching even over $1 billion earlier on this month. Whereas Polkadot, you can see that this 128 million has been pretty much steady. We've gone up to about 188 million, but really it hasn't really gone up much beyond that. So there's a lot more interest in Cardano than in Polkadot right now. All right, now let's get on to the price prediction for Cardano, for ADA. So first of all, the interesting thing is that we have this continuation pattern here. What does that mean? That means that we had a move up here, all right? We have a move up. And then what we have here is a pattern where we're sort of consolidating within a certain range. And then if and when we break that, we go on for the next move up after that, all right? It basically is the market is taking a breather and then it's moving on for the next move up. Now, it's quite possible to argue that this is the structure of this continuation pattern and that we have actually broken out of it over the past couple of days. Now, there isn't a lot of volume to support this hypothesis, but certainly in terms of the candle structure, it does look like we're breaking out. And of course, if you compare that to DOT, you know, if you draw the extremes here, DOT has not broken out. So again, another reason to support ADA over DOT right now. Now, of course, it's not just about TA when it comes to predictions. If you look at this, the new Cardano roadmap puts March 2021 date for the Goguen mainnet rollout. Now, for those of you who don't know, Goguen is a big deal. First of all, don't you love these phases for Cardano? There's nothing like this for Polkadot. Polkadot, it's all just, you know, talk basically. They don't have this sort of inspiring vision, you know, with interesting characters, interesting names, things to look forward to, things to get excited about. At least the way I see it. I am generally excited about Polkadot for what they want to do, the whole interoperability thing. I'm excited that they have, you know, a lot of money being invested in them, a lot of key players. We talked about Huobi investing, you know, $5 million in Polkadot recently, and I made a video actually for Altcoin Buzz a few months ago talking about like dozens of millions of dollars being invested in Polkadot. But all right, that's all very nice, but it's great, and I think it's really important and inspiring, especially if you're a hodler or a hodler, I don't know what you guys call it, but I call it hodler, to have a story and to have regular updates, which with IOHK, the founding company for Cardano, have all the time, so many updates all the time. So it's really, you know, encouraging if you're investing in Cardano. But yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, Goguen is the integration of smart contracts. So basically what this means is that Goguen, well, I'll read it out to you guys. Goguen era represents a big step forwards in capability for the Cardano network. So the Shelley era, and guys, don't forget the Shelley era led to a massive monster pump. This was, look at this. I mean, of course, it didn't start in March, the sort of excitement, but the excitement started really around June. And, you know, we saw, you know, 110% move up pretty much from there. So there was incredible excitement around Shelley, and they're really good at creating this cycle of excitement, you know, right, with the specific dates and everything. And that led to a pump. So it's just very likely that when Goguen, as and when it rolls out and they give more specific dates, that we will see another hype cycle like that. So where the Shelley era decentralizes the core of the system, Goguen adds the ability to build decentralized applications. Guys, this is huge. These dApps, this is exactly what Cardano is meant for. Cardano isn't just meant for decentralization and staking. The purpose is for people to be able to build things on it, right? To actually create valuable applications, real world applications. And, you know, I'm really excited about the work they're doing in Africa. Charles Hoskinson mentioned in a recent video how that, you know, when and if they really get their contracts settled in Africa, they could have like this mass enterprise collaboration and partnerships, which is just going to be huge for Cardano. So I think it's really exciting, but of course they have to be able to have these dApps working for that to be put in place. So Goguen, I think, is, to be honest, probably the most important update for Cardano, the most important step and phase. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a massive pump leading towards this. And when is Goguen coming? Well, March 2021, according to newsbtc.com, is the date for the Goguen mainnet rollout. Now, guys, be aware that there have been frequent delays to Shelley. There were in the past. You know, when they did finally launch the date, the roadmap in, well, the middle of this year, I think it was for July 31st, you know, they actually did complete that. So to be fair, you know, they did manage it in the end, but there were delays according to this article before that. So this represents, as I say, they talk about this March 2021 date. They talk about it as being an ambitious but welcome call. I like it when they're being a little bit ambitious. All right, you know, they may not make it, but, you know, this is their goal. You know, they've stated this to the public, so they're obviously going to be working very hard to achieving this goal. Polkadot, when are the parachain support going to come? We don't know. They don't want to state a date. They don't want to commit themselves. They don't want to put the pressure on themselves, but Cardano are, so, you know, I have respect for them for doing that. All right, so again, back to the price prediction, guys. If this really does continue to break out, and certainly if we see more volume here, you see these green bars, the volume is somewhat lacking here. We really want to see a bit of an explosion of volume here, similar to how we saw over here. But if we do see that, and of course, when we will make a new pump up, assuming that, you know, the King Bitcoin doesn't collapse, If Bitcoin crashes, guys, then, you know, pretty much all these predictions of it going up are going to be destroyed because, you know, of course, it's very dependent on Bitcoin. But in any case, if we look at just this previous move starting from the 25th of September, a common thing to do in technical analysis is to say, okay, we have one leg up, which is this move from $0.075 for ADA all the way up to $0.18. And we say, okay, well, if we've had a move up like this, we can expect to see a somewhat similar move up again. So what we do is we get this fib-based extension, all right, where we take it from the bottom of this move to the top of this move, and then we bring the point down from where we're going to bounce from here pretty much. I think this is a reasonable place to take it. And then we get what's called a one-to-one extension. What that means is that if we assume that this move will repeat itself from this point forward, then we would get a move up to $0.235. Now, the good thing about this level, the reason why, you know, there's some confluence is where you find more than one reason to support your hypothesis, is that this level, if we zoom back here, represents previous support. Look, three times we came down to this level, we found support, and then when we broke through it, we came back up to test it and resisted. So certainly, if we get to this level, there is a very high probability that there will be some sort of reaction. Not necessarily that we will have, you know, a big correction from this level, but certainly there is very good reason to believe that if we get to that level, there will be some reaction. And also there's good reason to believe that we will generally get to that level because of this very important explosive move up, because of all this incredible volume that we've seen here. You know, I said it's important for us to see volume over here, but the fact of the matter is that we've already seen, you know, explosive volume, a lot of interest and excitement about Cardano, people buying and selling, and the buyers winning out, as I say, you know, breaking previous highs, staying above previous lows. And then, of course, finally, another really good sign here is that we have this important structural support here, previous resistance over here, and now we tested it, we bounced off of it, we tested it, we bounced off again, and you know, it's a very good sign that, you know, we are actually at the bottom of a range here and that we're going to start a new move up. So guys, that's been it from me, Crypto Frank. Let me know what you thought of the video. Leave me down a comment down below. What do you think? Are you holding ADA? Are you trading ADA? I'm personally holding ADA as well as DOT. But, you know, I like both projects, but I do think ADA has more potential over the coming months. Guys, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you appreciate this content. I found a lot of stuff about the supply. I actually wanted to talk about the supply here as well. You know, the liquid supply and how they compare for Polkadot and ADA. And I found some more resources, but it's a bit more complicated than I initially thought. So I'll probably make another video just going over the inflation rate for Cardano and Polkadot, because these are very important for, well, not just long-term investments, but even short-term investments. As you can see, the inflation rate is very different for Cardano compared to Polkadot, and even these numbers are variable and subject to change. So there's some interesting stuff going on about, you know, these inflation rates, and let me know if you want me to talk a bit more about that in another video. But guys, that's been it from me for today, and I will see you in the next one.